So I'm curious, what do you eat a day? How does your day start and what do you eat? Give me a rundown. Give
Oh
us a
my
rundown.
gosh, so many questions around that. It's crazy. I do actually eat frequently, and I do. Funnily enough, this week I finished up an article around how I structure a meal plan because for years I've been asked, and it doesn't get into the nitty gritty of exactly what I eat. It's more around what I consider when I'm structuring a meal plan. And meal planning is not the same as meal prepping. So what do I eat? Really means more to me around the question: how do I structure my day with eating?
Hmm.
Because those what I eat and how I structure it for a lot of people can be very different.
Hmm.
Um, and so for me, I typically have a coffee in the morning. I train fasted. So I usually train, well, semi fasted, aside from the coffee. So then I'll train, I'll do some form of exercise. And then after that, I will have a protein shake.
Hmm.
And, that's been something that I've been having for years. And there's so many reasons why I have it. I hate food prep. I hate it. I'm just going to
Same.
say it, right? I just can't stand it. And this is why I get along so well with my clients too, because they come in thinking I'm all about meal prepping and batch cooking, and I'm not. I'm all about simplifying your lifestyle and giving you an easy option, satisfying option, and something that you can do that's going to be sustainable for you. So, protein shakes are by far the easiest for me. I can throw everything in there. I'll typically have a mid-morning snack, so that could be a protein bar, or it could be some veggies with hummus or an egg, for example. And then lunch is pretty stock standard. So I talk a lot about in my sessions and in my writing around what we call the power plate or the healthy plate. And so learning how to balance your foods. I think for a lot of people, that feeling of counting macros, knowing your calories, food tracking is really overwhelming, especially when you're busy because it is time consuming.
It
So
is.
the way we sort of like to structure it is, think of half of your plate just being non-starchy veg, like capsicum, cucumber, that sort of thing, leafy greens, whatnot, broccoli. Quarter of your plate being protein, and then a quarter of your plate being a starch of some sort, if you choose to have starches. And so that's typically what lunch and dinner look like for me.
Hmm.
Um, and this is something that I actually talk a lot about because I find that people overthink it. It's like, just don't make it so complicated. It doesn't have to be a restaurant meal, nor does it have to be fancy. In fact, the more basic you get, the better it's going to be for you. And then I actually have 2 afternoon snacks. So again, it's always going to be a protein and a carbohydrate of some sort.
Hmm.
And so that's, typically for me, so that's a few sort of meals a day for
What's
someone
an
of my
example of
size.
the protein and carbohydrate snack? What's an example of that?
So a piece of fruit with Greek yogurt, for example. So you've got the
Wow.
fruit being the carbohydrate, Greek yogurt being the protein. Rice crackers with peanut butter. So you've got
Hmm.
some rice crackers and you've got peanut butter being your protein.
And you have
Um,
macas on the weekend.
no, and that's the other thing. It's that sort of restricted. Again, what we talk about, that restriction mentality is that really is. It's um, allowing yourself, we go back to mindful eating with this, allowing yourself to have a meal that makes you feel happy, but also makes you feel good. And Macca's for a lot of people isn't going to cut it. But um, what that allows is if we start to break our meals down, for example, if somebody wants to work with me and they say, I just want to cut out all of my carbs. And I'll delve into why that's even a thing for them. And what I find is that they've had a history of cutting out carbs, losing weight, which is predominantly water and muscle mass, and then binging on carbohydrate for months after that, right? And
Yeah.
so what I sort of try and bring back into that is, well, let's bring the carbohydrates in, let's do it sensibly. And let's work around how you can sustain that longer term as opposed to cutting it out completely. So
Mm.
that we're not having, binge sessions around carbohydrates, for example.
Mm. And when was the last time you had a bad meal?
Uh, I have to think about this because in Australia it's coming up to summer, right? So everyone's quite conscious around getting back out there in their swimmers and bikinis and whatnot.
Hmm.
So I've been on a little bit of a program myself. However,
Hmm.
I'm trying to think of the last.
There
Might
must be
have been
something that you
pizza.
love doing. What
No,
was
it
that?
must have been pizza, and it wasn't just pizza. It wasn't just pizza one night. I think I had pizza 3 times that week,
Wow.
because of
So
different
bad.
different
I'm kidding.
commitments.
I'm kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
know you're waiting for me to say Mac. It's not Macca's. It's things like pizza and prosecco. And I think that week I ended up going, "Whoa, okay, let's stop. Let's just stop for a minute because I don't feel so good now." And then I had to sort of bring it back for myself and go, well, "Wait a second, why are we doing this?" So it was that bringing it back myself, going, "Let's be a bit more mindful. What am I wanting to achieve?" And I'm the sort of person that works really well under pressure. So if I know that I've got like 2 weeks to do X amount, or if I want to, reduce body fat or build more muscle, I know how to do it. And that's when we're going to work towards. So it's not, I tie that into that discussion because you may have people who are looking to, especially some of my clients who are looking to lean out a little bit more, become fitter. But if they've got no end goal, and we talk a lot about goals in sessions, if they've got no end goal or they can't see that actually happening, they're never going to change their behavior. So,
Mm.
so yes, you can have your binge sessions, but just know, right? Are you going to be doing this continuously for the next 3, 4, 5 weeks, or is there a point where you actually want to achieve X, body fat percentage or muscle mass, or you want to, you want your genes to fit again, or you want to be up presenting in that board meeting and looking how you want to look. So that's kind of where we have to draw the line when it comes to a lot of that behavior.
Thanks for watching this clip of the Getting Mental podcast. If you like this clip, check out the full episode here or more clips here.